Well, it's game over for the Vancouver Canucks after their overtime loss last night. But it's not just the fans who are upset. The early knockout comes as a blow for bars, restaurants and others who were counting on a long playoff run. But as Stacey Ross reports, it's not all bad news.
An overtime goal and the season is done for the Vancouver Canucks. The President's Trophy winners managing just a single victory in their first round playoff series against the LA Kings. The Canucks' early exit is not only breaking the hearts of their fans, but it could be breaking the bank for some Vancouver Island businesses.
Very disappointing. It was a tough getting out of bed this morning for sure.
Much earlier than expected. I mean, 5 playoff games isn't 25 like it was last year, that's for sure.
From the bling to the bar, no Canucks means fewer customers.
It'll impact the bar and restaurant industry, it'll impact hotels, it'll impact cabs, it'll impact a lot of things. So we're all in the same pinch right now.
At Sports Traders, hundreds of jerseys remain unsold, and a $10,000 order of Canucks gear hasn't even arrived at the store.
We had a few 25% off sale when they went down 3 games, so we'll see if the boss man decides to keep that up or not.
This playoff disaster, a reversal of last season when the Canucks had one of the longest runs in their history. That translated into big money. Float plane business on Vancouver Island was up as much as 40%. Pizza sales on game nights were up 20%. But it's not all bad news.
I think that it's great for us. I'm a Jets fan anyways.
As the Canucks fans mourn a lost season, many take their comfort at the golf course.
I think that, with the economic climate the way it's been the last couple of years, people's leftover money has been spent in the pubs if the Canucks go deep. And this year, there's a chance for us to get it.
At the podium, though the beloved Canucks are out, some fans will still come.
You can't replace the Canucks, but I think that the quality of hockey, people will still come in and check it out.
And back at Sports Traders,
I will never love another team like I love Vancouver. So
Estabrook says eventually all the Canucks gear will sell, but perhaps sales would improve with a slight alteration.
Sports anchor Jeff King joins us now. And Jeff, I got to tell you, it's hard to believe that the best hockey team in the regular season is out in the first round, and it's still April.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do with myself for the rest of the spring. Yeah, hard to believe we were, in the playoffs till the middle of June last year. Jim, yeah, a tough pill to swallow for Canuck fans. Not only did they lose out in the first round, but they won only 1 game against the LA Kings, and that was down in California. Certainly not the postseason run the club was expecting, and for the coaches and the players, it hurts even more to lose out in the first round than it is to lose Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final.
Well, I mean, nobody envisioned this. I mean, we came here day one with a plan and a lot of hard work ahead of us and experience, and we wanted to take the steps one at a time, which we did. Unfortunately, this first series, we weren't good enough.
So now the Canucks brass has to ask the hard questions. Do you trade Roberto Luongo or Corey Schneider? Certainly could be the end of the line for Mason Raymond, who was weak in the playoffs. They'll most likely get rid of Sammy Salo. He's 37 and always injured. And then how about head coach Alain Vigneault? Is it time for a change there? Or perhaps the Aquilinis will even look to replace general manager Mike Gillis. All questions that will be answered over the next few months. Jim, and I'll have much more on the Canucks when I pop back with a complete look at sports at 5:45.
Okay, Jeff, looking forward to that.
All right.
Well, as Jeff said, the poor end to what had been a stellar season for the Canucks is no doubt causing many to ask some painful questions about a significant team reorganization. And that brings us to tonight's checkpoint. We want to know what you think. What changes do the Canucks need to make to win a Stanley Cup? Here is what people in Langford had to say today.
They need to get rid of Luongo. That's what they got to do. Yeah, no, it's long overdue. I think Schneider deserves to be the #1 in Vancouver. That's for sure.
Start with Luongo. I was wrong. Start with Kessler. Oh, I was wrong. Sedin sisters. Oh, that's wrong. We got a lot of changes to make.
I'm an LA fan now, so I hopefully that they can beat them next year. I would have to say they got to get more gritty and more tough.
They just need to be a little more consistent, and as far as their playing goes, they're just too kind of touch and go.
I guess they got to beef up next year if they want to get farther in the playoffs.
And here are some of your responses from social media. Teresa says, defense. We need a decent defenseman, which has been the problem all along despite so many blaming Roberto. Sean says, for next season, we spend Luongo's salary to get us another solid big defenseman, and we trade Raymond for a grinder. And Iris emails, they need to start winning games. Our web poll asked, with the Canucks eliminated, do you care about this year's Stanley Cup playoffs? As you can see, 16% of people say yes, they care. 63% say no, they don't care anymore.